Good Lord, I look hideous on camera. Anyways, guys, my name is Avery Rodriguez, and this is my all about me video for my public speaking class at OC. I apologize for my voice. I yelled it out the day before watching the Super Bowl and a wrestling event as well. But of course, this video is going to be all about me and a little run through of what I love and what my hobbies are and what my interests are. So, first and foremost, let's start with football. Football has always been one of my passions, one of my very most favorite things to do. Not only because I was good at it, because it was what felt like one of the biggest competitions ever, going up against a man equal size, if not bigger, and seeing which one of you has the most skill, the most power, and the most strength to, overdo each other. Now, I have a couple of things in here that will represent my football. I had a lot of fans. First object, this sign they made me. I don't know how well you can see that because I'm using my phone. I apologize, but it says Avery Rodriguez, number 55. This is a tailgating sign that fans made for me, and they gave it to me at the end of the season, telling me that they were really good fans of me and that I did a good job during the season, which, of course, that was really awesome. And another thing I have right here is when we're on the cover of the when we were on the cover of a program for the Permian versus Lubbock Monterey football game in 2011. You'll see all of us defensive linemen standing there in attendance. There's me right there, number 55, the one and only. But seeing this was a really cool experience because I've never had my picture in anything like to where everybody can see it unless it was Facebook or Instagram or something like that. And two more objects I have would probably be my senior football picture. This really means a lot to me because it was the last picture I took as a Permian Panther, which was what I've always wanted to be. And, living that dream was just one of the coolest things you could ever do, as well as my nameplate up here. Not everybody has a bunch of souvenirs to show what they accomplished at Permian High School or in high school in general. If you are, then I would say, you're talented or you're skilled at something. And probably my most favorite prop would be my football jersey. This is an actual football jersey I wore during a football game. When I was a senior, I tore my ACL, and I was out for the rest of the season. So for the year, coaches retired my number. They didn't hand it down to anybody else, and, they let me keep the jersey. And if you look up here, you can see some of the marks from the football helmet, some of the turf and whatnot. But football has always been a big passion of mine. Also, another thing has been weightlifting. I've always loved weightlifting. I'm very strict when it comes to nutrition and health and muscle build, which will bring me to my next props, would be right here. Now, you could call me, a pill popper, or you can call me whatever you want. I'd actually really agree with you. But each and every one of these supplements serve a great purpose. Right here, you have your fat burner. Whoops. You have your energy pills, testosterone boosters right here, and your liver cleaner right here, making sure that your liver stays clean and that, there's nothing in there that'll hurt you in any way possible. And the good thing is that none of these are steroids or anything as people would mistake them to be, because they will not show up on a drug test, but however, they will give you some of the results that steroids would. Now, my most favorite part of all of these would be this. This big old cement bucket is full of protein powder, meal replacement, and post-workout supplement. What this will do, this will help boost your muscle gain, and this will bulk you up faster than anything you could ever think of. And it'll take a lot to get through, so I have a lot of workouts to get through before I finish this bad boy right here. But I've always loved weightlifting. If you haven't told by looking at me, or if you've met me, if you couldn't tell just by looking at me, I've always loved weightlifting. One other thing I really love is I love to eat. It's always been one of my favorite things. I mean, whoever invented food is a genius. Whatever, right? But I really love Chinese food, and one of my favorite places to eat in Odessa would probably be Buffet King. You can see that by looking at this Buffet King calendar that they gave to us for going there so much. It's actually a Chinese calendar showing which year is which. This year happens to be, let's see, the Year of the Horse 2014, which it was really cool. It says the horse is cheerful and popular, but I am patient, handy with money, always a winner, compatible with tiger and dog, but never a rat. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure it's something positive. But like I said, my favorite food's always been Chinese food, and you can see right there, Buffet King at the bottom. My brother makes fun of me for how much I go eat there. But another things, I've had a lot of role models, because not only do I love weightlifting, I love wrestling, like WWE sense. And I love acting too. And probably one of my role models would be right here, Dwayne Johnson, or as the ladies will know him as The Rock. My own mother has a crush on him, and it makes me feel weird sometimes that I have this picture in here because she'll just eyeball it. But I really have a lot of respect for The Rock, because he's done wrestling, he's an actor, he's committed to his fans, committed to his work, and he's never let anybody down, that as far as I can see. He's always been a good role model, someone to look up to, even though he's a celebrity and a lot of people have those. But if you look past, his fame and fortune, if you look at all his hard work he's done over his career, you can really respect everything he's done. So, another thing is I like to smell clean. Of course, everybody does. I mean, I'm probably going overboard with this video. I'm probably making this look like MTV Cribs, but I'm just doing what Miss Ramsey told me to do. So, I like to smell clean. My favorite cologne would probably be this right here. If you can't see that very well, I apologize. This is Gucci Guilty. In other words, it's a cologne by Gucci. It smells fantastic. Probably the best one I've ever owned. And I've owned a lot in my lifetime, trust me. But last and definitely not least, I really, what's that word I'm looking for? I really invest in my relationship. I have a very awesome relationship. This is, let's see, there you go. This is me, and this is my boyfriend, Joseph. Yes, I'm gay, but, that's not really a problem for anybody, or it hasn't been lately, but so I'm sticking to that. But yeah, that's my boyfriend, Joseph, and we've been together for over a year now. Our anniversary is on January 1st. Yeah, January 1st. I better remember that, right? It's on January 1st, and so far, it's been a great year. And I couldn't really ask for much more than what I have now. The way I see it, God's been really generous and patient with me lately. He's given me a lot of things I feel like I don't deserve, but apparently he does. Ooh, one more thing I forgot to show you guys. I love Minions. Minions are my favorite. I don't know why. I love them so much. If you ever see a Minion, always think of me. If you ever want to buy one for me, I wouldn't fight you on it. But that's going to wrap it up here. If I missed anything, one of my most favorite things to drive is my car. I mean, you can't really tell much from looking at the key, but I drive a 2012 Dodge Challenger, all blacked out. It is my pride and joy. I've always wanted one since I first laid my eyes on one in 2008. It was probably the most beautiful car I've ever seen in my life. I always told myself, if I ever have a car, it's going to be a Dodge Challenger. And sure enough, about 4 years later, I got one. Talk about following, right? But that just goes to show, if you set your mind to something, eventually it'll happen. Even if you make it happen, or if it happens on its own. But preferably you make it happen, so that way you know you did it and you feel good about it. But yeah, that's about it for my All About Me video. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.